everyone, and welcome to the Medium Next Door, and that's me. My name is Bonnie Page, and I am the author of Ask the Medium Next Door with Bonnie Page. So this book is all about people writing in and asking me questions and me giving advice or spiritual knowledge. And so I took a few of those questions today so that I could talk to you about a question that was just sent in. And it was asked about coming to have a mediumship reading. And I can only give everyone my point of view as being the medium that I am, but I hope I can answer these questions for you. So Laurel wrote in and asked, can someone special come through during a reading? Can I ask for someone special to come through? And yes, the answer is yes to that. And so usually with me, I love to make an appointment for someone myself so I can hear their voice and I can make sure that myself and my client are a good fit. So the energy is there, the intent is there, and so I want to make them feel comfortable. I want them to be comfortable for me, because that's when a reading really does flow well. And so the first thing that I ask them, I set them down, and of course I always do a prayer to open up to the spiritual world. But I ask my clients, are you missing someone special in heaven? Is there someone that I can write down their name and their relationship for you? Now, some mediums don't do it this way, and sometimes I don't, especially during a gallery reading, a big gallery reading. I would just let the spirit come to me, your loved one would come to me, and then just find who they belong to in the audience. But on a one-on-one reading, I ask, who are you missing in heaven? And a lot of times I do that just because there's a time factor too. So if they're having a short reading, and I don't want anyone to walk away without getting the information that they need from me when they come to see me. So I just jot down a name and a relationship, say Bob, brother, and then I just open up my awareness to the spiritual world, and I ask for this person to come in. And so you're going to know if it's your person or not, because then I'm going to start describing them to you. They have dark hair, they're showing me a picture, they're wearing this, they passed at this age, they did this for a living. So there's some evidence there of who is coming through. So even though you're giving me a name and a relationship, there's just so much information that you can receive from your loved one in heaven that I like to make sure that by the time you leave my office, you have talked to the person in heaven that you're missing. So for me, that just, it's kind of like a calling card for heaven. So Laurel continued with, can multiple spirits come through during a reading? And absolutely, yes. So I might not write down everyone's name that you want to hear from, but after that, after getting the special person that you wanted, I really just, again, bring my awareness to the spirit world and ask who wants to come through next. And sometimes there are 2 or 3 people standing together waiting to give my client a message from them. So lots of times I'll get parents coming in together, holding hands, showing me they're there and they're united for their loved ones. Even if parents have split in the physical world, even if they've had a separation, a divorce, lots of times they still come through as your mom and dad. So that's always sweet. But There's so many people in heaven waiting to talk to you or to get a message to you or to give you guidance, that if you just, a medium just opens their awareness, they see so many people. And animals, dogs and cats and horses, all your loved ones. And so yes, multiple people can come through during a reading. And then she continued to ask me if someone would come through that you didn't ask for. In other words, someone that maybe you had a falling out with that you didn't want to talk to. Would they show up for you? And the answer to that is yes, and I can tell you why. Because usually, especially if a child and a parent had a falling out, and the child was sitting in front of me, the parent very much would be, beating down the doors to get a message of, I'm so sorry, I didn't understand. They would have a strong, strong message for you. So sometimes when we open up that awareness, it's the spirit world is very smart. They know what they're doing up there. They kind of have it all planned before I even start my conversation with my client. So the person with the strongest message for you could be going, let me in, I need to say this. And what happens when you get that strong message, even though you kind of didn't want to hear about it, right? The strong message can be the most healing for you. So words that you need to hear. And healing not only for you, but for the person in the spiritual world as well. Because when I hear my clients say, you know what, I forgive them, I know that the spirit that's coming through telling me, I'm so sorry, please tell them to forgive me. I know then that their soul can move on and grow and expand as well from that experience. So yeah, sometimes you get someone that you're like, oh no, I was a little mad at them and I don't really feel like chatting with them, but it can happen. The next question, I love questions, by the way, so when Laurel sent me in all of these, I was happy to jot them down. And the next question she gave me was, what should a client take away from a reading with a medium? What should a client take away from a reading with a medium? And that really depends on the person coming in for the reading. A lot of people have different ideas of what they want to get out of with that time for having that mediumship reading. But I always want my clients to be reassured that their loved one is okay. And how do we do that? We do that providing evidence that this is their person coming through. Or really, you could go to anyone and they could say, oh yeah, your so-and-so's here and they love you. And that's not evidence. So evidence is things that have happened during their earth time, and also things that have happened since they've been gone, so that you know that they're still in your life, still watching over you and guiding you every day. And so if you can leave a medium and you feel in your heart that you have really connected, you've had that one-on-one conversation with your loved one, because really the medium's just a middleman. It's from spirit, through spirit, to spirit. And that's how we deliver a message. And how we do that is just by seeing, hearing, and feeling what that loved one is trying to get through. But by giving you evidence, you know who I'm connecting to without a doubt. what someone did for work. I can see a lot of things. I'm really nosy, so I like to ask, what house did you live in? What's your favorite room? What's your favorite thing to cook? What are you wearing? I ask all kinds of questions. And I'm sure the spirit world knows that, I do like to get the nitty gritty. And that's because, really, besides me being a little nosy, it's really about you getting the evidence that that's your dad coming through. Not every dad raced racehorses like my dad did. Not every dad was a construction worker like my dad was. Not every dad wore a white t-shirt to work. There's different things that you can give people about their person that they're going to go, that's my dad. Oh, that's my mom. I know it. And then at the end, when we're nearing the end, and I can just send up a thought, because that's how we communicate, a thought. Where have you been with your loved one recently? And so they'll say, oh, well, my son just washed his car and changed his tires. I'll say, okay. And I'll say to the son, oh, your dad's saying you just washed your car and changed your tires. And I always get a big, oh. And then I'll always tell them, you know why you're getting this message? It might be just something little to you, but what it shows is that your loved one is actually with you every day doing the mundane things that we do here on earth. And of course, they're there for the big things too. They never miss a celebration. I can tell you so many people that they come through and they're telling me, I didn't miss that wedding or that birthday. So they care about the small things. They love the big things. And especially, I'm just hearing from Spirit now, when you're sad, they're right there to lift you up, and they definitely want you to know that. So a medium's job is to give you evidential proof, reassurance that your loved one is still with you on your earth journey here. So our loved ones very much become our spirit guides when they're leaving the earth plane. They go to school for it. They learn how to tweak it, how to help us. Can you just see a school like that now? I can. And so they become our spirit guides, and they really do watch over us. And so thank you, Laurel, for all the questions. And if you, any of my viewers today have any questions, if you go to bonniepagemedium.com, you can send me a question of your own. I'm always happy to answer them. I also write Ask the Psychic in 3 different papers, so I get questions all the time, and if yours is chosen, I'll do it here on the show, or I'll answer in one of my columns. But thank you all for joining me. I hope this has made a difference in your ideas about why it would be nice to go to a medium and to have a reading. So I thank you so much, and stay tuned till next time. Thanks, everyone.